Starting in 3, 2, 1. Welcome to this published author's interview. My name is Kenneth Muyingo, and with me I have a special guest that I will be interviewing. But first, I just want to mention that if you watch this interview and you would like to write a book yourself and become an author, there's a link with this interview. Click on the link and join the group, become an author, and write your first book to be connected with other people who are doing the same thing. And with that said, I would like to get into the interview. First, I just want to ask my guest to say hello to you and to introduce himself.
Hello, everyone. My name is Doctor Dwight BoNey. I am an educator, I'm an author, and I also host a podcast. So it's a little bit about me.
Oh, awesome. Thank you so much, Doctor, for making the time for us to do this interview. Tell us about yourself. You are an educator, an author?
Yes, I work in adult education and I work in the prison education system. So I have a unique clientele that I work with. And it's a very rewarding, fulfilling job to kind of give back and help people who might have been, disadvantaged, needed assistance at times, and give them the opportunity for the education they might have passed up on earlier in life.
And then, wow.
As far as being an author, I'm just one of those guys that's kind of creative. Anything that kind of interests me, something that might get my juices flowing, I just randomly said I'm going to write a book. And then it became
amazing.
2 books, 3 books, and now I recently released a children's book.
Amazing. Well, the aspect of your profile that I want us to zero in on is the author aspect. Tell us about your most recent book.
My most recent book is Little Dwight and the Light. And it's basically a premise that was created by my father. My father kind of emailed me one day and said, I've got this great idea for a children's book. I think we should look into it. So he sent me the concept of a little boy who wonders if the light in the refrigerator goes out when you close the door, which is something a lot of people have wondered over the years, especially when they were younger, if that light is still on when the door is closed. So I jumped right into it. It inspired me. I wrote really about 7 or 8 stories about this character, Little Dwight, which is based on me as well as my father, because I'm a junior. And it's our perspectives put on paper as children about certain ideas and aspects. So this book specifically refers to the light in the refrigerator.
Little Dwight and the Light. Amazing. It's a question that I remember a season of my life, something that I actually tried to experiment myself, that I tried to close the refrigerator to be able to still see if that light actually is gone off. So quite insightful stuff. Well, and your other books, tell us about your other writings. Is this the only book that you've published, or are there other books?
I have 4 books currently available on Amazon that I've published. The first one I did was The Other Side of the Velvet Rope. And The Other Side of the Velvet Rope was a story about my life working in the nightlife. When I was in college, I decided to get a little bit of extra money. And I started working as a bouncer, bartender, club manager, and I did those things while paying for my master's degree and my doctorate. And I put a lot of those stories and tales into this book. And I felt it was something that people could refer to, or at least relate to, or just embark on a new world. Because if you've never gone into the nightlife, if you've never been in those clubs and bars, it's not written for those people who want to glamorize things. It's the darker side of that.
Yeah.
It's kind of a cautionary tale.
Wow. It's sort of like telling the story that is not normally told out there.
Exactly.
Amazing.
Exactly.
Tell us, what inspired you as far as getting into writing? What is your vision as far as writing and the material that you create?
I think that with the internet, any creative aspect becomes saturated to the point where you can't see the gold, the diamonds, those wonderful pieces out there that are amazing because they're covered with so much clutter. So I wanted to create books, and I want to do things when I write them that are, in a traditional sense, still within the mold, because all my books are completely different genres, but I want to have a twist to it. I want something original. And that's the piece that I think is missing when we look at just the saturation of media out there. It's hard to see where the creative people are. It's hard to see where those people are who have these great tales that need to be told.
Indeed. Yeah, I'm also a firm believer that every life worth living is worth documenting, and sometimes great storytellers or people who have some real value are being sitting on the sidelines, just waiting for sort of things to happen, and the media is being overcrowded with noise, so to say, that that the creatives feel almost like they don't have a space or an opportunity to get into their writing. And so you said they're different genres. Can we zero in on one of them?
Sure. The one that I probably took the biggest risk on is The Embers of the Heart, which is a romantic tale. But unlike a traditional romantic tale where, you know, two individuals fall in love and they fall out of love and it has a happy ending, this book, it zeroes in on the breakup and the romance and the struggle of trying to get through a breakup. And the things that people think about, the things that come across your mind during a divorce, the things that come across your mind during the hardships and the trials of trying to go back to work, trying to live your life as if you still have value, even though you've kind of been discarded by someone. So this book really is an emotional book. And a lot of people I know have said it transcends genre, it transcends the whole romance idea, it also transcends gender. It's just something you can relate to emotionally if you've ever been in a breakup.
The Embers of the Heart. Wow.
Yes.
Okay, what inspired you to write this book?
I'm 41 years old, and it seems like over here in America, between about 30 and 40, a lot of people go through divorces. A lot of people go through breakups. And when you're the friend and you're sitting here and you're watching these things transpire, it's where reality becomes art. You know, you're inspired to say, you know what, I've watched people kind of like, you know, burn through the ashes and then rise like a phoenix. That's what this is. It's just that whole idea of, I wanted to put this on paper for people to kind of ponder whether they're thinking about divorce, thinking about a breakup, thinking about staying for the right or wrong reasons. It's a way to kind of help decide what's best for you based off of this knowledge that's in the book. So you know what you're going to be headed down, what kind of road it's going to be like for you.
Wow. So here's the information, make the decision for yourself. Whatever you choose, just make an informed decision, sort of.
That's right.
Amazing. When I think about growing up and life itself, there's many aspects of young adults and adulthood that we could talk about: finances, business, or work. How did you choose the topic? Why did you choose this specific topic, Embers of the Heart?
For this one, like I said, it was just emotional connection. It was all around me. And like anything else, when you see it every day and it's personal to you, it inspires you. You know, musicians do it, writers do it. I mean, I'm pretty sure after the whole coronavirus is over, there's going to be 10, 15, 20 movies, books, spin-offs, all about that topic because it's part of our lives.
Exactly. Exactly. I mean, I think it's also about us being open to what's happening around us and paying attention to allow the life that is happening around us to touch us so that we can draw from it the lessons that we need to draw and design the abundant life.
Well said.
Do you consider yourself as a naturally talented writer, or is writing a skill that you've developed over time? 4 books, man. That's
It's something that's developed over time. I was inspired about the whole club scene and the bar scene just because it's a different world. And I said, I need to put this on paper, 1, for myself, and 2, so that way people can realize I guess you say the characters that you're going to come across in this world. But it's believable. But at the same time, I just sit back and I love life. And I don't like the fact that sometimes people take it for granted and don't pay attention to it. And
That's
that's
right.
what makes a good book or a good story. It's the fact that there's life embedded in that story. There's relatable tales in that story. That's what makes great books and great stories last. So for me,
Amazing.
it was just the inspiration. I was never, ever thought to be a writer. It just kind of happened.
Wow. Now this is where it gets interesting. You say it just kind of happened, but then there is, you know, like sometimes things happen and then, you know, I think it was Steve Jobs who said that we cannot connect the dots looking forward, but from where we are, we can connect the dots looking backwards and
Mm-hmm.
right back to where we are from what happened, and then trust that the dots will connect in the future. But when you look back on your life journey, what would you tell me is the one thing that has happened to you personally that has had the greatest impact on you writing books? There must be something. I mean, 4 books. It's
I would say the greatest impact on me has been family and friends. The connections that has I've drawn from them, good and bad,
yeah,
I feel really make us who we are as individuals. And that's the aspect of the trials and tribulations that give us those great stories. It comes from the trials that we are able to persevere through. At the same time, when you have those issues that create a wonderful outcome, you don't know that's going to happen. You
yeah,
know, sometimes a blessing is in disguise.
I did.
And that's really what the biggest thing for me is my family and my friends. I have a very small circle, a very tight knit family, and I love them dearly for always being there for me and also giving me the opportunity to be there for them.
Uh-huh.
That's how I've learned, and that's what I want to portray in these books, and I want to share the wealth of what I've learned.
Excellent. Very well said. It's I can totally relate to that because I think family is just one of those things that are very important, and the people that we journey and do life together with. It's personally, I believe that if it was possible for us to live life alone, we would all be in our own small individual planets and do
Yes.
life alone and just pass through on to the next stage of life. But because we are in this journey of life together, I think we need each other to be the best versions of ourselves. So thank you so much for saying it like that. Um, are you currently working on any other projects as far as writing is concerned?
Yes. Right now, the Embers of the Heart, because it was so well received, and I have a habit of ending my books in a way that the reader has the ability to kind of create their own future outcome for these characters. So because I leave everything so open to a degree, they're like, well, we want to know what happens next. So The Embers of the Heart is actually going to have a sequel that's going to be coming out. It's going to be called Smoldering Ashes, trying to keep with that theme. And then there's actually probably 2 more books after that. So the series will have 4 books in it when it's all said and done. And that's what I'm currently working on.
Wow. Wow, I'm looking forward to this. Where can people buy your books and how can people connect with you? If someone watches this interview and they would be like, I want to connect with Dr. Dwight,
Well,
how
the
can they
best
connect with you and where can they buy your books?
They can buy my books on Amazon.com all over the world. All you have to put in is Dwight BoNey, DWIGHT BONEY. And
Awesome.
then the second question you asked me about how to connect with me, the best place is on Facebook. Once again, just put in my name, Dwight BoNey, DWIGHT BONEY, and I will pop up all over the place.
Awesome. We will put those links with the interview. And whenever you watch it, just click on the links. The links will be in the bio. And thank you so much, Dr. Dwight, for your time and for this wonderful interview. But before we finish, I just want to ask, is there something else that you would like to mention that we have not touched on in the interview?
Yes. The last thing I would like to mention is for all those aspiring writers out there, just do it. Just jump right into it and do it. It's something that you can't wait on. You can't wait for the perfect time because it's not going to happen. You can't wait for the story to just come to you because it won't happen. You've got to just jump right into it and jump over those hurdles and run through those barriers and complete your story.
Wow. Thank you so much, Dr. Dwight. It's been a pleasure as well as a privilege for me to be able to do this with you. And I will be following up with you most definitely.
Thank you.